Did you ever start a computer upgrade project and nothing went as expected? Well, this was one of those projects. So, decided I wanted to upgrade the hard disk as well as upgrading the memory on my Unraid server, as well as upgrading from a 3060 to a 5090 so that I could have a more powerful GPU to run in the vast VM so that I could make a bit more money using it. So definitely some issues. Was keeping the other 1 terabyte NVMe, adding in the 2 terabyte NVMe. So I was going to have to move things from one NVMe to the other. Anyway, you'll see what happens with the physical install, and then we'll come back and review what I had to do to solve some of the other issues that I found when doing this upgrade. So without further ado, let's get into it. Well, best laid plans don't always work out. So hopefully we have a solution, but let me show you what I am dealing with. This is the problem. It is too long. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm hoping that, thanks to Sunflower Mama, because I hadn't thought of this yet, there's a lot of room above. So I'm going to try moving those top 4 drives, and then there will be a slot here, I believe, with just enough space that I can install the graphics card in that space. So yeah, let me see if I can make this work. The nice thing is, the only thing I have to do when moving these things is unscrew this one screw, and then it slides out. You slide it back into this notch back here. You can see those notches over here. You slide it into the notch. There's actually a screw you can put in the back, but that's not even necessary. Just the notch and this hole here is enough to hold it. So I just got to move 3 more. Okay. All hard drives are moved. We now have an opening in the bottom. Let's see if it's enough room. Success! Yes, it did work. With plenty of room to spare, actually. Man, I got lucky. I think actually I could fit maybe 1 drive down here. No, that's right. We already tested that. Can't fit a drive down here. I do have more drive space down below. If I needed more space, and I have space for SSDs if I need to expand, but I'm good for now. So yeah, so what did I do with this? I put a 2 terabit NVMe. The one down here was the main one, but I moved it from the PCIe 4 to PCIe 3 slot, so I'll still be using this as one of my cache drives. I also upgraded the memory from 32 gig to 128 gig, and upgraded the power supply to a 1200 watt Be Quiet power supply. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and of course, yes, the piece de resistance, the 5090. So this NAS is going to start making some more money, because the 3060, while it was rented quite a bit, was only making like 4.5 cents an hour. So this one will make considerably more than that. All right, I'm just about to move it back into the basement. It is up and running. I did have to install an NVIDIA driver update so that it would recognize the 5090. I was worried I was going to have to do a BIOS update. Probably should have, but I didn't, and it seems to be working just fine. And I'll have to do a few things to create a new cache pool, make sure I select. I got to do a few things. I'll go into that in a little bit, but bottom line is it is recognized in Unraid the drive is recognized, the additional memory is recognized. So we're in real good shape. So a big thank you to Sunflower Mama for coming up with the idea of moving the drives, because that's not really my forte, and she's the one who pointed it out first. So thank you very, very much to her. Otherwise, I would have been Mr. Grumpy Pants. No question, I would have been Mr. Grumpy Pants. Alrighty, be back in a bit after I put this back into the basement. Okay, so what did I have to do within Unraid to get this stuff working? As you can see, this is the Unraid main screen. I had to add a second cache pool instead of adding it to the existing cache. If you tried to add it to the existing cache, it's just going to make it a mirror. And since one is 1 terabyte, one is 2 terabyte, that's not going to work. So I wanted to create a second cache pool. Maybe at some point I might make them redundant. For right now, I am going to make them separate. So what am I going to use this 2 terabit NVMe for? Mainly going to be using it for increasing the size of the drive for the vast VM. In order to do that, though, there's a number of things I had to do. Future self here. Well, I forgot to mention one other piece that I needed to do. I needed to migrate the VMs from one drive to the other even before I expanded the VM. So how did I do that? Is I went into the shares. So I went into the shares right here, and then I had to basically move things from, like here we have domains, which is where the VMs are, from cache to cache VM. I had to do the mover action from cache to cache VM in order to move all the VMs from one drive to the other. So we were good there. All right, back to the video. So let's go down to the VMs. And so we had to go into the Unraid. I'm not going to stop it because that would be bad since it's rented, but I can go into edit and I can show you what I did. So first off, I did increase the number of CPUs to 8 from 4. It was on 4, decided to increase it to 8. I had the space, I had the CPUs available. I'm fine. Right now, I'm using all, I think, but about 4 for other things. Basically, I have a couple of containers and I have a Cumulus node on this, which is taking up 2 CPUs. So, but we're still doing just fine like that. So I did increase that. I had to increase the memory amount allocated. Since I had 128, I basically allocated half of it to this vast instance. But here was the hardest part. I also had to change the actual graphics card. So basically, I did this as a drop down right here and selected the 5090 because it wasn't automatically reselected. So I did have to do that. And then there is a spot in here for disk space. Where is it? Okay, future self here again. I figured out how I updated the actual drive space for the VM in Unraid. When you stop the actual instance, you are able to change the capacity over here. It gives you that option. So that's all it is. It's just on the actual VM page. All right, just wanted to make that clarification. Back to the video. So anyway, in here, I expanded the disk space, but that only does it within Unraid. So it makes it available. But the actual VM itself, the files within the VM, the partition is still at the previous amount. So you need to expand the partition. So, like I said, so first step is expand your VM as it's defined within Unraid. But all that means is now you have all of this undefined space at beyond your existing partition. So you need to somehow expand it. I know like in Hive OS, there was like an expand command that would do that for you. In this case, I used grow part, which is on the screen right now, grow part, and then VDA3 was the partition. So that worked. So now I've expanded the partition, but I haven't expanded the file system to recognize the increase in the partition. So you also need to expand, as XFS is the file system. So XFS underscore growfs, and then also that VDA3. Once I did all that, it was now recognized, and now I had it available. And then also, when I looked at my VAST dashboard, it was now recognizing the additional space. That's really key. If you don't have approximately 1 terabyte, that makes you a less, especially on higher end cards, it makes you less favorable, less attractive as far as people wanting to actually rent your GPUs. So that's what I did there. So that was really the main changes, was again, moving things from one of the cache drives to the other. One real key thing that I thought was really interesting is I had no trouble moving my cache drive from one slot to the other. Unraid doesn't identify drives by where they are connected. It identifies them by address, the way that the actual hardware address is on the device. So it's not a problem. You could mix up all of your SATA cables and it's still going to run the same. It doesn't care where it's plugged in. So that's basically all I did. Unfortunately, like I said, this took a long time to get running. And even after it looked like everything was up and running, oh, I forgot a step. One of the steps also was I needed to go into settings and go into NVIDIA driver down here, and then upgrade the driver here. So that way I had the driver here. Now, with that done, that only does it on Unraid, which you do need to have, but I also needed to do it within the VAST VM. So this was the first time I tried to use, instead of using the .run command, I used sudo apt NVIDIA driver update and then 570-open. It is working. So it seems like it's fine, but I still recommend using the .run command, because that way you can make sure. I just know people have had a lot better luck running that command than running the sudo apt update. But I wanted to try it to see if it would work. And it seems to be working fine. I am right now rented and have been rented all day. It took a little while to get rented. I was interested about that. And one other thing I did have to do. I learned from contacts at VAST that I needed to disable VMs. I believe when I originally installed this, I enabled VMs. Evidently 5090s are not cooperating with VMs at all. It's a known problem. So if you are on VAST and you have 5090s, make sure that you haven't enabled VMs, and you can use that command, Python 3, and then all of that on the screen in order to disable your VMs. So once I did that, it was only a day later and I got rented. So I think that was like a key point in order to get things up and running. But VAST has been amazing lately, and really glad that I got the 5090 and got this in it. This was the 3060 that was in there, and one of these fans needs to be replaced. So that's this one. You can, maybe you can hear it. It's really rough. So I need to replace that fan on that GPU, and going to be making a new salad rig. I'm kind of doing a couple different things with my farm. One is I'm looking to see what I can upgrade to make the most income. So, you're looking at the 5090s or 4090s is what I'm looking at right now. But I'm also looking at the lower end of things, seeing what hardware do I have that I can upgrade and make money on because it doesn't cost much, and the actual break-even point on that is a lot quicker. So right now I've got a salad. Well, you know what? That'll be for another video, but I will be doing that in an upcoming video of upgrading some mining hardware to a salad rig. So keep your eye out for that. If you are interested in doing GPU rental, but you don't know where to start, or you have a stumbling block, I have opened up consulting times, one-on-ones, and like I said, the link will be in the description. Feel free to sign up. So if you are having trouble, I'd be happy to help. So sign up and go from there. So without further ado, no tabs were harmed in the making of this video. Have a good day, everybody.